Hello, Sand here. Today we're going to go over the glory of the Eternal Raider. This is mostly going to consist of a PowerPoint show, except for the last boss. I will also not go over boss mechanic unless they are related to the achievement. This is to cut down on time. Besides that, I want to give a huge thanks to the WoW Achievement Discord for helping me do these achievements so early in the tier. Besides that, I want you to enjoy the video. So the first achievement we'll be going over is you and what army defeat Abyssal Comanche Vara in the Eternal Palace while all three of her lieutenants are alive and engaged in the fight on normal difficulty or higher. For this achievement we use 3 tanks, since we used 2 to tank the boss and 1 to tank all 3 ads, who then dealt with all the mechanics on his own except for the banner, but we'll get into that a bit later. So the first thing you want to do when you enter the instance is clear out most of the trash, at least a straight line to the boss, but make sure you don't pull those ads with the markers above them, as you can see right in front of you. Okay, let's get into the ads and what they do. The first one we're going to be going over is Goresh the Smasher. He only has one ability called Bellowing Roar. It's a 2-second cast that will fear all members in part of the raid. So what you want to do here is just have the tank interrupt every time. Our tank didn't have a single issue with this ability, so I don't think yours should either. The next ad we're going to be going over is Grovel the Vanquisher. He casts one ability called Rallying Banner. He throws out a banner, increasing the damage done by all Nagas within 8 yards. So the way you want to deal with this banner is just have a range, switch over to it and kill it. The next ad we're going to be going over is Tide Shaper Corvus. She has 4 abilities, the first one being Roaring Tides. She inflicts force damage to nearby enemies. What you want to do to counter this is just walk away from her and stay out of range of this ability. The other one is Frostbolt Volley, which slows the tank and some range that are standing close to the ad. So what you want to do here is just make sure your range are either standing a bit further away or just get hit. It doesn't do that much damage. The next one is Frostbolt, as it's just a single target hit the tech will take. And the fourth one, and the most important one of all, is the Soothing Current. So this ability heals any target that's within 30 yards of the ad. So you just have to make sure that the ad is always 30 yards away from the boss. That way the ad will actually heal the other ads and make sure that they stay alive throughout the entire encounter. However, if you get her too close to the boss, she will target the boss. Of course you can see it when you target the ad, which ad she's targeting, and if you see her targeting the boss, just make sure you interrupt her. Finally, let's go over the boss tactics that we used to complete this achievement. So like you normally would, we kept the boss in the middle, and after that we kept the ads all the way to the other side of the room, so they're just 30 yards away. And then we just kept the ads there and made sure that we had like Toxic and Frost Split, as you're supposed to do during the fight, and we just killed the boss normally. Like the ads were no factor in this boss fight, except for the tank, who was obviously tanking them and dealing with them, and the one range we had assigned to kill the banner. But yeah, just make sure that the ads stay alive throughout the entire encounter, and make sure they are all alive when you kill the boss. If one of the ads just happen to die during the encounter, you can kill yourself and reset the instance by going outside and pressing reset instance. The next achievement is Intro to Marine Biology. Defeat the Blackwater Behemoth in the Eternal Palace after collecting 50 samples of sea life from within the darkest depths on normal difficulty or higher. So what you need to do is collect 50 of these sea samples. You can see one of them on screen right now. The way you can identify a sea sample is if you can hold your mouse over it and it gets this green little thing around it, and you see its health bar down at the bottom of your screen. Now, sea samples can be anything from what you see on the screen to fish to starfish and so on. Like, it could be just about anything. So remember to look around the entire room and try and find as many as you can before pulling the boss. Now, what we decided to do was split the entire raid except for 4 people, 2 tanks and 2 healers that were to remain on the main platform. They would basically pull the boss. And what the other 16 people would do was split between all 3 platforms and collect a sample. Like, they would stand in front of a sample before pulling the boss, and after pulling they would like collect for 10 seconds, and after that they would like start returning back to the main platform. After that, all the members in the raid will write in the raid chat how many they have collected, and then the raid leader will count like the total amount we have collected, and then he'll call out how many we're missing. We would collect the last few during the intermission. So basically when we're going from platform to platform, we would find some fish on the way and just collect them. We decided to go for 60 in total instead of 50. That way we were sure that we had the amount needed to complete the achievement. But after you collected all 60, you should just kill the boss and then get the achievement. The next boss we're going to be going over is Radiance of Azshara, and her achievement is Fun Run. You need to defeat Radiance of Azshara in the Eternal Palace after running 6 constructive complete laps around her arena without falling into the water on normal or higher difficulty. So the basic gist of the achievement is that you choose direction and you just keep running until you complete the achievement. So there are some debuffs that track your progress. The first one is the one you can see to the left. This one is called You're Halfway There. You get this after you've done 3 laps. The second one is the one you can see to the right. You get this one once you've done 6 laps. There are some ways you can lose both of these debuffs, but it's not the same for both of them, so let's go over how you lose each debuff. First we're gonna go over the halfway debuff and talk about how you can lose that debuff. The first way we're gonna go over is when you backtrack. Basically, if you decide to go one way, you have to stick with it. If you ever decide to turn around and go the other way, you'll lose all your progress. This happened a lot in our group whenever the ad spawned, because some people decided to, whenever the ad spawned and it spawned right behind them, that they would turn around and then walk over to the ad. In these kind of situations, what I would recommend doing is instead just keep running in that direction and do an entire lap before hitting the ad. That way you won't lose your progress and you'll still help out with the ad. The other way you can lose your progress is if you fall into the water outside, as the achievement stated. In our group, the only reason why people fell outside was because of the ad during the intermission. He does a knockback that knocks players back quite a bit, and if you're standing on the wrong side of the ad, you might accidentally get knocked out into the water. The tank, the boss also hits the tank with an ability that knocks them back, so you just want to be aware of that. Our tank had a lot of issues with this ability because he was a DK and he couldn't mitigate it every single time, so because of that he fell into the water quite a few times. So we had to have one of our DPS go tank just so they could like charge or do something like that to mitigate this knockback. But if you fall into the water, you'll lose the debuff, regardless of if you have the 3 stacks or the 6 stacks. So even if you've done the achievement and you have the 6 stacks, you can still lose all your progress if you fall into the water. The next boss we're gonna go over is Lady Ashvane. Her achievement is Simple Geometry. You need to defeat Lady Ashvane in the Eternal Palace after having each cast of Arching Azrite pass through her on normal difficulty or higher. And this achievement is trackable, so you should track it, and if it goes red, that means you failed the achievement. So what you want to do is you want one of the people with the mark to stand in front of the boss, and the one with the corresponding marker to stand behind the boss. You can see it right here where I've marked the 2 spots. So what you want to do is basically have everyone stand close to the boss, have the one for example in this example, I have the blue marker, so I'm standing in front of the boss, and the other one with the blue marker is standing behind the boss. You don't want to try and destroy corals while you're doing this achievement, since it's hard to kind of aim it at the boss and the coral at the same time. You just want to kill the boss before the corals overflow the room. A good little tip for this boss is to pop hero once the shield has gone down. That way you'll get the most amount of DPS on her while her shield is down, since the regeneration of the bubble is based on time and not health percentage. So yeah, you have to burst her down as fast as possible while the shield is down. The next boss we're gonna go over is Oragosa. His achievement is a Smack of Jellyfish. Defeat Oragosa in the hatchery in the Eternal Palace after incubating a baby zootroid on normal difficulty or higher. So what you need to do here is carry the egg that spawns in the intermission down the ramp and get hit by incubation fluid, which then triggers the achievement to be completed. After you get the boss down to 40%, you want your designated egg carrier to go to the marked spot. After that, they'll eventually get the egg, and then they need to make their way down the ramp. While making it down, they need to avoid all the various mechanics that are happening throughout the intermission phase. For example, the swirlies and those purple eggs, you need to avoid all of it. Now, we failed this achievement quite a few times, since some abilities will make the one carrying the egg lose the egg. For example, if they use any spells, they'll lose the egg. And it also seemed like abilities like Windrush Totem also made you lose the egg, so if you cast Windrush Totem and the one carrying the egg walked over it, they would lose it. We also think that applying any buff to the one carrying the egg will also make the egg drop. So what we did to counter this was that we had our egg carrier make sure that he couldn't get any buffs while carrying the egg, so that's passive buffs basically. So after you made it down the ramp, you want the one carrying the egg to get hit by incubation fluid. This is a random ability that the boss does that targets random players. So basically this might take a while unless you're really lucky. For us it took around 5 to 6 casts I think, so you might be in for a long wait. But after your orb carrier has the debuff, you should just go ahead and kill the boss and then you'll get your achievement. The next boss we're gonna go over is Queen's Court, and their achievement is if it pleases the court. Perform various emotes to earn Queen Azshara's favor in the Eternal Palace, then defeat the Queen's Court on normal difficulty or higher. This achievement is personal, so you can do this with a puck if you want to, and it's actually fairly easy to do with a puck as well. Now what you need to do to complete this achievement is actually just to do the following emotes when Queen Azshara does the following decrees. The first decree is form ranks. Whenever she does this, you need to salute her. The next one is repeat performance. When she does this, you need to do /courtesy. The next one is stand alone. When she does this, you need to applause her. The next one is deferred sentence. Whenever she does this, you need to /growl at her. And the fifth and last one is obey or suffer. When she does this, you need to /kneel her. Now there are these 5 macros that you can use in order to make this achievement 10 times easier to do. These macros were made from some people on Wowhead, so hey, all credit to them. But basically what they do is they target Queen Azshara and then does the emote and then target your last target. What you want to do is name or number these macros from 1 to 5, like you can see I've done, because all the decrees always happen in the same order. So basically when the first decree happens, you want to press 1. When the second one happens, you want to press the second one. And when the third happens, you want to press the third one, and so on and so on. Now I've put these macros down in the description, so it's way easier for you guys to just copy and paste them into your WoW macros. As for when she's casting the decrees, you can use DBM or Big Wigs here. These add-ons help out a lot. However, if you don't have these add-ons, you can just play with sounds and wait for her to yell something. Like she usually yells something right before the decree happens, and then 1 second after, the decree will happen. But yeah, as long as you've done all the emotes at the right times, you should have your achievement once you kill her. The next boss we're gonna go over is Zakul. His achievement is Lactose Intolerant. You need to defeat 10 Twinklehoof bovine on normal difficulty or higher before killing him. Now what you need to do to complete this achievement is that you need to open up all 6 runes, and after that a portal will spawn in the middle of the room. You need to enter this portal and kill 10 cows. So basically you're making a portal to the cow level. The 6 runes are the runes that I've marked on the screen right now, so you want to get a marker on them just so everyone in the group knows where the runes are. After you marked all the spots, you want to push the boss to phase 4, which is 50%, and then you want to wait for him to cast Manic Dread. Right before he's casting Manic Dread, you want to stand right on top of one of the runes. The player afflicted with Manic Dread will drop a Caustic Delirium on the ground. Actually, he'll drop 2. Like, he'll drop 1 once he gets affected by it, and another one once he gets dispelled. But I mean, as long as he's standing right on top of the rune, when he gets affected, he'll drop it right on top of the rune, which will then activate the rune. If you look at the orange marker right now on screen, you can see a little effect. That's how an activated rune looks. Once you've activated all 6 runes, a portal will spawn in the middle of the room. Once the portal spawns, you have around 30 seconds to enter the portal and kill 10 cows. So since you only have 30 seconds, you should pop hero while you're in there. Basically what you want to do is try and pull all the cows and get them into the middle. Once you got them into the middle, you want to AoE them down as fast as possible. This achievement is trackable, so you'll know if you actually managed to get all 10 kills or if you missed some. So if the achievement light is green, that means you've completed it. If it's red, you haven't completed it. So if you haven't completed it, just go out and die and try and do it again. If you have completed it, just kill the boss and get your achievement. The next boss is Queen Azshara. Her achievement is the best of us. You need to defeat Queen Azshara in the Eternal Palace with 1 player still alive who is currently affected by the essence of Azeroth. What we did to complete this achievement was that we killed everyone except the tanks. That way, when we activate the Champion of Azeroth buff console, the only ones that can be affected are the tanks. So what you want to do is basically kill everyone once the boss is 1 million, and then have one of the tanks press the console. After he's pressed it, you'll see who has the debuff. The other tank then goes over and kills himself, and once he's done that, the one remaining tank will solo the boss. Now you want to get the boss down as low as possible, like we just came to the conclusion of 1 million was the best, but it might be different for your group, depending on how much you trust each other basically. But the way you want the tank to kill himself is by standing on like the disc console and get up to 9 or 10 stacks, and after that you want to run into the circle. The circle will deal some damage to you, which will then kill you after a short while. But yeah, if the one remaining tank managed to solo the boss while still having the buff, you'll get your achievement. So, congratulations with your achievement. Huge thanks to the WoW Achievement Discord again for helping me out with all these achievements. Besides that, I want you to please like the video and subscribe if you want to see more meta achievement guides. And besides that, I want you to leave a comment as well on how you felt like this new format, like doing it as a PowerPoint rather than, a basic video.